Okay, so in this video I'm going to be going through how to dye your RC parts using Rit Dye. You can dye them any colour that you wish. There's lots of different varieties of this particular dye. I like to use the black because most trucks look quite mean in black. Also, dark colours such as this Traxxas dark grey here are very hard to dye different colours other than black. Lighter parts like this are okay to dye things like blue, green, red, orange, but they do come out a dark version of whatever colour you're going to dye them. Whereas this this black here, Zabachi, comes out a really nice midnight black. Now you can see it says on there that it'll dye cotton wool, nylon and more. I so far haven't really found anything other than things like metal, obviously, that this won't dye. So I'm going to go ahead now. I'm going to show you what you're going to need. So you need to get all your parts ready that you're going to have. Now they need to be clean, dry, free of dirt. Now if you look in here, this is a diff housing. It's got a bit of grease in. Now I'm not worried about that. Now where that grease is, the dye will not go into the plastic because that's not going to be seen. It doesn't matter. But if you had grease up the side here, then that is something that you'd want to think about. Getting that cleaned off and ready to go. It normally helps to do it after a rebuild or when the truck is new. So once you've got all your parts ready, you're going to require a bucket or something suitable. I like to use a bucket because they're fairly cheap, and if I stain it with dye, it doesn't matter. You're also going to need a lot of boiling water. So I'm boiling up this big saucepan here, a couple of smaller saucepans and the kettle, and I'm going to pour them all in this bucket. And after I've done that, to fill this bucket, I always use too much dye, and I will use at least half a container of this, which is more than what it says on the back. However, this is quite cheap. This is about £6.50, so there's no point taking the risk and putting too little in, because you'll end up with a lighter colour. Okay, so as my when my water's boiled, I'll pour that in, I'll pour the dye in, and then we'll carry on and dye the parts. Okay, so something else, nice little trick that you might like. I put a sticker on here, vinyl sticker, saying RC Overdose. It's one of the groups that I'm a member of. Very good group on Facebook, well worth checking out. Now by putting the sticker on here, when I dye this part, the dye will not go into where this sticker is. Then afterwards I'll peel the sticker off, and that'll leave the words RC Overdose ghosted into it. So that's something, if you've got a favourite group, a name, anything you want to put into certain parts of your RC, this is how you do it. Okay, so we've got our boiling water in the bucket. Now obviously with this large quantity of boiling water, you need to be extremely careful what you're doing. If you knock this over, you're obviously going to hurt yourself, so just be aware and be safe. Right, so now we're going to get our dye. I've given it a very good shake to get it all nice and mixed up. Now we're just going to go ahead, I'm going to pour approximately half of that in. Okay, there we are. Now there's no problem here with actually putting too much in. That's not really an issue. I'm going to go ahead, and the first part that I'm going to put in, I'm going to use just to stir up the mixture. That's all it needs, just a little stir. Now you can already see on there the dye, the colour of the dyed water. So now I'm going to go ahead and drop the parts in. Now I leave them in for approximately 15 minutes. With black, it doesn't really matter how long you leave your parts in, because they're gonna come out nice and dark. Now, if you were dyeing a particular colour and you wanted particular colour parts, say a blue or a red, then you'd be looking to be careful at how long you leave them in for, because the longer you leave them in, the darker that colour is going to be. So you're always good to make sure you've got something by that you can just hook them out with, and double check that you've got the sort of colour finish that you're after. So here's one of our stickered up parts, RC Overdose. That's going in the mixture. Now I've got quite a large number of parts, so they're probably not going to fit in one go, but we'll give it a go as to how much we can fit in. Now with parts that are sticking out, as you can see with them, all you do, leave them same sort of time, 10-15 minutes, pull them out and turn them over, and jobs are good, and you can dye the bits that you haven't reached. It's always worth having some dye on standby just in case you need to do a second batch or make it a little bit darker. So I'm now going to leave these sitting for a bit, and then we'll come back to them in 15 minutes and we'll start to look at the finished result, and we'll turn around some of the parts that are quite large. Right, okay, so we're just sort of coming up for the 10-minute mark now. If I just lift this piece of chassis out here, you can clearly see where it's dyed and where it's been sticking out of the water. Now I want that a little bit darker, so push that back in. I'm going to leave it approximately another 5 minutes, then we'll come back and we'll start changing parts around and lifting some of the parts out that are in the bottom of the box, and bottom of the bucket, sorry, and I'll put my next lot of parts in. Normally I wouldn't be dyeing this number of parts in one go, but it just so happens that I seem to be in a situation where I'm building 3 X-maxes at once, so I've got a larger amount than normal to dye. Okay, so I've fished out some of the bits that are halfway done, that need flipping around, putting back in, and I pulled out some of the bits that are completely done. You can see a nice black colour there, same in there. We've got some of our parts with stickers on, so I'll be taking the stickers off and having a good look at them. So stop the camera now. I'm just going to get the rest of the parts out, put the rest in that need doing on the other side, and then I'll show you the finished result. Okay, so here now I just have some of the completed pieces that I've dyed. Now I've got this one as an example here. Now this is where I've put one of the stickers, Midwest Mad Max. Now this is a group on Facebook that I highly recommend checking out, especially if you're an X-maxx owner. Some fantastic products available from them, great advice, and very, very knowledgeable members. So as you can see, I've put the sticker on, we've dyed it black. Now where the sticker was is light grey, and that's the colour of the original chassis. So you can see what a difference now that has now made. And this is now one of the upper towers, shock towers, all dyed black as well. So when you start combining them all together, you get a lovely dark, aggressive looking finish. So I hope this has been helpful for you. Any questions at all, pin me a message in the comments and I'll try and help you. But if it's something you haven't tried before and you're nervous about trying, don't be. Do a little test a bit. Perhaps use one of your cheaper parts. Do a little test in a small cup of water. See if you're happy with it, and then carry on. Especially if you're going to do colours. If you're going to do colours, that's where you need to start being extremely careful with how long you're dyeing it for. So just a reminder, the dye that you need, it's Rit Dye. It's also available in smaller packets, but for the price difference, you're better off just getting a big bottle. I've used half of this bottle and it was £6.50, so it's not an expensive thing to do. If you've got some friends as well that want to do it, do it together. Massive bucket, pour the whole bottle in and do all your parts in a oneer. Right, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell button, and then you'll be notified of my future videos, including the video where I'll be turning this into a bit of a hulk of an X-maxx, and future tutorials and running videos that I'll be doing. Thank you very much.